everyone and welcome to another Getting Stuff Painted, and the great grey seer shortage has, well, mostly been fixed. I managed to get a couple of pots overpriced on eBay. Third-party retailers and Games Workshop themselves seem to have the base paint in stock, although the place I order from hasn't actually shipped them out yet. But they are put aside for the order and will be on the way, so it does seem like the shortage of contrast base paint, well, at least the one of the two I use, is back, so I can carry on painting in earnest. And as a result, we don't have nearly as much as I would have had the shortage not happened. We would have seen some more henchmen for Gotham City Chronicles, I think. But hey, we've got some henchmen, we've got some characters from Gotham City Chronicles, we have some Marvel Universe miniatures, we've got some Batman, and then finally we have some more Blackstone Fortress, because I'm finally getting on to doing more miniatures for that. But as always, we will start left to right. Starting with recently finished Black Canary, one of the birds of prey, who is going to be in the next mission for Gotham City Chronicles, taking on Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Equipped with a nunchuck, although really her superpowers are what she's equipped with. She's got the siren scream thing, or whatever it's called, Canary call, that's the one. So she can kind of let out a billowing cry to send people flying and wound them. Not my favourite paint job at all, but, you know, always overcritical, never undercritical. But Black Templar contrast, Ultramarines blue, and Yandan yellow for the hair. Then we have Mr. Joe, which is one of Joker's personas. This is when he has his face stapled to his face. Don't ask. And he's not playing nice anymore. He tries to kill Harley Quinn, and then it's the lead up to death of the family, which is where kind of like the Bat family all fall out with each other, because Joker knew their identities the whole time, and Batman knew that he knew, or presumed that he knew, and just didn't do anything about it because the Joker didn't act on the information until he got upset, and then he did, for a big crossover event between all the comics. And that's his persona. That's what he went around as, Mr. Joe. It should say Mr. Joe on the back, and it doesn't, which is a shame. Or whatever the name of the company was, I've forgotten now. Already seen in the battle report, Ra's al Ghul. His face kind of looks like Jeremy Beadle. No, actually, you know what it looks like? Tim Curry, but specifically when he was in that Command and Conquer game where there's that famous meme clip of him saying that he's going to escape capitalism by going to the moon, and he can't say it without nearly laughing, and that's the best take they had, so they used it. He looks like that era Tim Curry, and I'm okay with it, because I kind of like this miniature. Been putting a lot of Ra's al Ghul's lately, because of course the 3rd edition Batman miniature game just got a new one as well. Similar, again, colours, used the same ones. Green Lightning contrast, that's just grey seer with a wash over it for his white tunic, Yandan yellow, and Basilicanum grey for his hair, and the base as well with a little bit of blood for the blood god, because he likes murdering people. Also seen in that same battle report, Julia Pennyworth. Super simple, real quick, again, just the black. I think I did a... Oh yeah, I tried something different with her actually, I totally forgot, and it's not really that noticeable. When I based her, I dry brushed blue over all her armour before applying the Black Templar contrast, just to see if it would add a tint. Like, instead of doing it on top where the tint is a bit too strong for me, I wanted to see if I could just ever so slightly hint at it, and I don't think it's come through. I don't think it's the 3rd or 4th time I've tried the variations of that experiment. I did something similar when I was painting Black Panther, if you've seen that contrast video. I'm still experimenting. Contrast paints are worth experimenting with. Anyway, we have 4 henchmen, who are Harley Quinn's gang. Why are they Harley Quinn's gang? In what way do they look like anybody associated with Harley Quinn? Don't ask me. They look like Two-Face gang to me, although there isn't a Two-Face mini in Gotham City Chronicles, I think. Is there? There must be. How could they forget Two-Face? Well, either way, they look like Two-Face gang members to me. You could actually, if you painted their masks black and white, they'd look like the ones from the Arkham video games. But yeah, they're equipped with guns. For whatever reason, they're associated with Harley Quinn. And they will also be in the next Gotham City Chronicles, the one with the birds of prey, which is why they were prioritised painting up. So it's kind of like them and her, they need to be put to one... Oops, sorry, it's not quite in frame. They need to be put to one side because they're going on the table as soon as it's finished recording. Still got to do Spoiler and Batwoman, and then the game is ready to be filmed. So anyway, we also have, who has also been in the most recent video, Professor Pig. Didn't really get a good look at him. Painted him the same way I painted the Batman one. It's Talisar blue for his pants, Skeletal Horde for his shirt, His apron's just got a wash over the grey sear with blood for the blood god, because he's, you know what he does. It's alright, didn't realize it went out of focus there. And Vulpus pink for his pig mask. I like the job on that one. I think it turned out okay. So, I think these are the last... Do I have any left? I think these might be the last Marvel Universe miniatures I have left to paint. And then it's just a case of tracking down the super rare ones that I'll probably never find, and then I'll have the entire range of Night Model's dead Marvel game. Dr. Doom, whose model I like. I'm looking forward to seeing Atomic Mass Games' version of him. Warp Lightning all over with a dry brushing of Moot Green, a wash over Lead Belcher Silver, and some snakebite leather for the belt, silicanum on the base. Simple, effective, again, at that kind of range, looks okay. What doesn't look as great as I would have liked is the Marvel Universe Magneto, which is Blood Angels Red, Shileish Purple with a dry brushing on top. Very, very similar pose to the recently revealed Atomic Mass Games Magneto. And I did a similar thing like I did for Ebony Maw to make it look like psychic energy is controlling the metal, because obviously Magneto is controlling metal in a similar way. It's a nice miniature. I don't think I did a great job with the paint, but it turned out okay, and it was a nice experiment for when Atomic Mass Games version comes out. Another mutant, Marvel Universe, from the Brotherhood of Mutants. This is Pyro. He associates with Magneto. He's a villain, and he likes to burn things. I don't know what his mutant power is, because it seems to me like that thing on his back is giving him the flamethrowers, so I'm not familiar with him at all, but feel free to educate me if you want. I like the paint job though. I like the mixing warm colours of contrast and then putting a wash over the top for detail. It works out really well. It's what saved my paint job on the Wolverine miniature. So this is again Yandin Yellow, Blood Angels Red, and Gryph-hound Orange, and Agrax Earthshade over the top for detail to pick out all the little muscle lines, etc. And when it's on bright colours like this, I feel it works really well. So that's them done. Pardon my watch for beeping at me. From the Batman miniature game, we have Gentleman Ghost, who I had to pick up just because of how silly he is. It's a literal ghost on a scenic base filled with candles that I tried to make look interesting. I used a pre-generator to contrast paint to colour him. Before contrast paint existed, Games Workshop had a couple of paints that kind of did what contrast did. One of them's called Hexwraith Flame, that's the one I always remember, which is a green. And then there's the other one, which is, I think it's called Gloom, Gloom something, and that's the one I used on this, and I always forget that name. Night Haunt Gloom, something like that. It goes along with Hexwraith, whatever, and that's the one I use. It's not quite as deep and bright a shade of blue as I would like, but in terms of making a ghostly aura of a gentleman with a cane and a pistol, I thought that was neat. I decorated his base with a lot of grass just so it wouldn't look like he's in the graveyard that the Batman Who Laughs is kind of based in with the 3rd edition mini. I thought they'd go quite well together, they kind of matched. So yeah, you'll see him on the table at some point. He's a free agent, he can be with anyone except the Batman crew. And he's got Incorporeal permanently on, which I believe just means you can't shoot him. And you have to be in base to base to even see him, or something, I've forgotten offhand. So anyway, to finish on, I've started working my way through the numerous monsters that you can meet in Blackstone Fortress, starting with the ones that are easy to paint. So these are Spindle Drones, I think they're called. Lead Belcher Silver, with Black Templar contrast below, and a little bit of the Vulpus Pink for their eye. Super simple. For the bases, I just apply Astral Granite and then put black contrast over it because it's Blackstone Fortress, so why not? It's nice and quick. So yeah, 4 of these knocked out super quick. Once these are done, and the ones I'm about to show you, which are called Urgles, I think, Ghouls, that is. I have like 14 guardsmen, traitor guardsmen, and then I think that's it. Because the Beastmen, the Chaos Warriors, and the Big Bad, and the Chaos Psychers, or whatever they're called, they don't get added until you've done a few runs and you've leveled up a little bit. Or gotten more gear, I should say, because they're harder, so they don't necessarily need to be painted up right away. So these are the Urgles. That is Space Wolves contrast, I think. Wait, was it? Or did I use Athematic? No, I used the Space Wolves Grey, which is actually kind of tinted blue. And while it was still wet, applied Vulpus Pink to the hands and the whatever they have instead of eyes, and the mouth to try and get as close to how they looked on the box as possible using contrast. I think it turned out okay. I think they look close enough to what they're supposed to look like. And again, they were super quick to finish, hence all 4 of them being finished after the spindle drones. Slowly but surely working through the Blackstone Fortress box. And here's the last one. Trying to be uniformal. 2 of them have the same pose, and then the other 2 have the same pose as well, and the spindle drones are all identical. So anyway, that is 2 weeks and a bit. Not counting the time I couldn't paint because I didn't have any base paint. Of more painted minis, feel free to @me on Twitter with pictures of what you've been painting. Always love to see it. Next time, we're going to have more Gotham City Chronicles. We are going to have the new releases from Crisis Protocol, which I've been showing off on Twitter already. They weren't quite done, so that's why I haven't shown them here. And also I wanted to split it apart. I've got Green Goblin literally just drying while I'm filming this. I'm not 100% sure he's done yet though, but we'll see. Anyway, they'll be in the next video. And some more Batman stuff from the recent unboxings that I showed off the new Soldier of Fortune releases. Maybe some more Blackstone Fortress, and maybe a surprise or 2. Who knows? That's going to do it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you again in about a couple of weeks. Ta-ta for now.